generally, since you've been working with him, has impressed you the most about him?
Yeah, I think the work ethic, first and foremost, as far as things that have impressed me, doesn't make the same mistake twice. And throughout camp, when he touched the ball, good things happened. Still has a ways to go away from the ball, but I would say just the constant improvement earned him more touches.
That away from the ball, is that blocking mainly that you're talking about?
Yeah, everything that's not carrying it when you're talking about pass protection and pass game, any sort of lead blocks that he's asked to do. Like, he just has to keep working to become a complete back. But since day one, when he got here, when he touches the ball, he tends to do good things with it.
And for running backs, we often talk about how they need, kind of volume to get going, but he's a guy that, even when he had limited carries, he's been able to make the most of them. What's sort of the challenge of doing that for running backs, and why do you think he's excelled so much in that area?
Yeah, I think the O-line's played at a high level for all those guys. When you look at some of the yards per carry that all those backs have had, I think it's been pretty good thus far. And the guys like to play, like to get in a rhythm, but he has a knack for kind of finding it whenever he gets this opportunity, and he can make some plays that aren't there, that aren't blocked up as well as you would like. And so I think that's kind of allowed him to have some success early, and hopefully it continues.
Between him not really playing his last college football season and, being a seventh-round pick early on, I'm sure he didn't get a ton of reps. What work did you see him do when he wasn't on the field and getting those reps to try to improve?
Yeah, he just always wants more. I think that's the biggest thing. He'd hop in, if we're not careful, we look out, and he'd be out there with the ones from day one. He believes in himself, high confidence level, but I just think has a big chip on his shoulder, like you said, from not getting to play his senior year. He went to the All-Star game, really had a great week there, and then has just carried that confidence with him.
What was your evaluation of Jaden's performance on Sunday, and I guess specifically with regards to sliding, taking care of the ball, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I thought he protected the ball well. It's a good defense that we faced, and I liked that we started slow, and he was really unfazed by that, just continued to play at a high level, had some good throwaways, and kind of knocked the rust off and led his team to a victory.
And then at guard with Chris Paul, really hit the ground running. How do you envision the future of that spot when Sam comes back? And is this kind of his job to lose, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it? Yeah,
we're taking it week by week as we go, but I've been really proud of Chris and his performances. He's played really well for us, been physical inside there, and from last year to this year is a completely different player. I think his play style, the effort, came back in better shape and has really elevated his play.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. I know you guys were really high on how Luke McCaffrey came into the program this offseason. Even from that point to now being able to contribute the way that he has, what have you kind of seen from him since then?
Yeah, just continues to get better and better. Like we talked about, I really liked how he came back, the attitude, the physical shape he was in, and has just taken it and run with it. It was a lot to ask him to play inside and outside last year, and I think he's settled in now, and we have full confidence wherever we put him, he's going to go make a play, and I know Jaden does too. So that's been cool to see that connection kind of grow in year two.
And I know a lot of time receiver blocks don't necessarily get noticed by all that many, but there was one specifically, that big run by Bill on the right side, where he's engaged with one charger, another one's coming, he kind of puts his body in the way. I know it entertained Jaden. What were your thoughts just kind of when you watched it in real time and then when you broke it down on tape?
Yeah, that's awesome. We talk about that, like playing longer than the guy with the football and playing away from the football, being a lead at that. And he takes a lot of pride in it. He practices it in practice. If you watch the film, he's a guy, anytime the ball is thrown or it's a good run, he's sprinting into the screen. And so to see it show up on Sunday was cool to see.
We've talked about Debo before, but I'm going to ask again. When you see, people talk about his energy, how do you see that playing out, whether it's on the field, meeting rooms, how do you see that?
Yeah, just the competitive nature. He is as competitive as I've been around. On game day, he sets the tone with the intensity, the focus. When he touches the ball, you're like, okay, here we go. And I think that gives us all a lot of confidence when he's out there. But he's practiced every day, when he hasn't had any sort of issue that he's been here from spring workouts on. Like, he wasn't asking for vet days, wasn't taking days off, and he just loves to play, and I think that is infectious.
And when you have guys like Terry, Noah out, and he's obviously a guy defenses know you're going to want to get to, what's the challenge for him, and why is he still able to get the ball so much and do something with it?
I would say just his versatility. They know we're going to try to get him touches, but he can play outside, he can play inside, he can play running back, he can do it kind of all, and I think that allows me as a play caller and us as an offensive staff to be creative in how we get him the ball and continue to try and find ways to do that.
Did you give Luke any instruction or set goals for him in the offseason to really work on certain stuff?
No, I just think as an organization, we all kind of gave him a vision for what we saw in that role, what it could look like. And he came back really focused and really understanding, like, we have some really good wideouts on this team, and so if I'm going to contribute, this is what my role needs to be, and I need to be a master of the offense, understanding inside, outside, and then the play style, and he's done that. So it's really, as a coach, and I know Bobby feels the same way, it just makes you super proud to see a kid dedicate it whole offseason to it and then come back and have the results he's had.
And then with Bill, I mean, given that he didn't play all but one game at Arizona, how much did you know about him before you got him? And, after first seeing him, did you expect this to be what you get?
I didn't know much, to be honest. I didn't know his name was Bill, first and foremost. But I think from day one of just being here, you could tell the run style was unique. He had twitch, he had quickness, and then just he wants to play every play. Like, he loves the game. He's eaten up by it, and so those things kind of shine through from day one.
Hey, Kliff, with regards to Josh Connerly, by the stats, he gave up a few pressures, but I'm just curious, what did you think of him, not just in this last game, but just now that we're into week 5?
Yeah, he just continues to improve as well. We talked about the stretch he had to open his career there at right tackle was kind of a murderer's row of some of the top pass rushers in the NFL, and so I think he learned a lot from that, and the more he plays, the better he's going to get. He's another guy who he's very conscientious, comes from a great program there at Oregon, was really well coached, knows how to study film, knows how to prepare, and so those things, as the season goes on, he's going to have his ups and downs, but he'll continue to get better.
And with no disrespect to Andrew Wiley, when Sam comes back, are there certain aspects that you think are going to really help Josh, just based on what you've seen his strengths and weaknesses and what Sam can do?
Yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. I think anytime you have a veteran guy next to you can help. I mean, it's a guy that's been through it and plays at a high level like Sam. I think any tackle in the league would be happy to have him next to him.
Hey, Coach. Along the lines of the running back room, Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNichols, what have you seen from them so far?
Yeah, I think just what we've always known, like when they're called upon to make a play, to make a block, to do it right, they nail it each and every time. And we feel comfortable with either one of those guys as their starting running back, and I think that's the biggest compliment I can give them. They can do it in all phases. They play special teams. They can be effective in the pass game. And so very dependable, reliable players that we feel like we can play at a high level with.
And looking ahead to the Chicago Bears, what types of challenges might that defense present to you all? Yeah,
they've really done a nice job of taking the ball away. Dennis Allen's been one of the great defensive minds in the NFL for a long time, and it's a talented roster. They're getting some players back that have missed a couple games, so I know it'll be a big challenge for us.
Hey, Coach, could you talk about the offense? Where have you seen them improve the most over the last couple games?
Yeah, I just like the run game, the physicality in the run game, I think has really gotten better as we've gone along. I think that last drive going 99.5 yards is a big step for us, like closing the game out on our terms, being physical. They knew we had to run it. We were still able to run it. And that's the type of football that carries you into the postseason if you can get there, is being able to have that type of run game. So we got to keep building off of it and just continue to be consistent in that area.
And pass blocking, could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think we're continuing to improve. It's a group that we've had some moving parts, so I think when we can get consistent in there and have the same unit for multiple weeks, that always helps. And I think we made a step this last week. We got to take a step again against Chicago with a really good pass rush. Appreciate it, Coach. Thank y'all.